Demon Slayer Story 2. Where is the invisible world? Digging Deeper 1. Hi, this is Mariko, the exclusive interpreter of this YouTube video. You remember me? I hope you say, yes. I introduced myself last story 1, already. How was my interpretation last time? Today, we will get into the core value of Japanese culture. Okay? We go. All family of Tanjiro were killed by demon except Nezuko. It was a dreadful tragedy at the very beginning of the story. Nezuko was not killed luckily. However, she was transformed into a half-demon. Tanjiro's mission was to make her recovered an original human. Tanjiro set out on a journey decisively with Nezuko on his back. His determination was because of his family love for the beloved little sister. On the way of journey guided by his mission, Tanjiro met Sakonji Urokodaki. Urokodaki trained Tanjiro for a warrior to give a revenge against demon. Tanjiro was expected to join the Demon Slayer Corps. The training in the mountains imposed by Urokodaki was extremely agonizing. Urokodaki was the master trainer of swordsmen. Tanjiro endured the training well. Finally, Urokodaki said to Tanjiro, "I have nothing more to teach you." However, the true meaning of the words was different. The real trial was waiting for. The final trial was given to Tanjiro. It was a crazy challenge nobody can imagine. Urokodaki said, "Split this boulder into two with a sword." Is it possible? Who can imagine such a challenging? But it was a trial to test Tanjiro's power after 1 year training. Tanjiro was really confused. He said in his mind faintly, "I don't think I can." However, Tanjiro couldn't run away from the task. It was an inevitable task to save Nezuko. Hi. Anyway. How is my narration? The narrator is me, Mariko. What did you feel when you read this scene in the comic? In my case, I lost a word. It was beyond imagination. You know, to cut the boulder, a huge rock, by a Japanese sword. Tanjiro also said, the blade would break. I thought so too, oh, my. The merciless trial had started. Do you remember a guy wearing a mask of fox? Yes, the guy was Sabito. The mysterious boy, Sabito trained Tanjiro ruthlessly for a long time. After a half year, Tanjiro's face was changed into a real warrior. Tanjiro and Sabito, they were facing each other with real Japanese swords. It was a life or death match. The fight was over in an instant. The fox mask of Sabito was cut into two. Tanjiro's blade was faster than. At the moment. Wow, wow, wow. Tanjiro got it. Incredibly, his blade split it. Were you able to imagine following ending? Tanjiro split the boulder into two, by his sword. Urokodaki said, "You did well." Tanjiro got a chance of entry into the final selection. It was the gate to Demon Slayer. Anyway, the point we must tackle today is here. Can you imagine what I mean? Why was it possible cutting the boulder by a sword? Can you accept this scene by your reason? It was an impossible reality. Yes, it was all thanks to Sabito and Mikomo. They gave special training for Tanjiro with their goodwill. It means the success was because of their kindness. However, we have one more point we can't miss. Tanjiro got the success by the kindness of Sabito and Mikomo. Because of that, Tanjiro left a message to Urokodaki. Give my best to Sabito and Mikomo. A mysterious word of Urokodaki, we can't forget it. Do you remember the words? He said in this way. How is it you know the names of those deceased children? Don't miss this word. This murmur is mentioning the essence of Japanese culture. Tanjiro was communicated or interacted with dead persons. The dead Sabito and Mikomo were teaching and training Tanjiro. Sabito and Mikomo were ghosts, absolutely. Where was Tanjiro when he was interacted with them? On the physical world or on the other side? We cannot skip this question. I want you to notice here. Digging deeper too. Demon Slayer, of course, this is a comic anime story. It means it's a fantasy. However, I think a real Japanese idea is projected on this plot. I hope you will keep attention here. I think the author of this story is appealing a certain Japanese idea. That is an idea of life and death. I show you a picture. It's a real boulder in a mountain in Japan. What do you get from this picture? This is a real picture of a boulder in a mountain in Japan. The rope with white clothes is Shimenawa. Shimenawa is a symbol of a shrine in Japan. This Shimenawa is appealing, sacred zone. Japanese call such a zone marked by Shimenawa, Ketkai. Ketkai is a kind of off-limit area protected by holy power. If someone violates this traditional understanding, the person will be punished. God of the sacred zone gives a revenge to the guy. So, any Japanese never neglect this fundamental understanding. Every Japanese is in awe of a shrine because of the Shimenawa. Understand the meaning of the boulder wrapped by a Shimenawa. The boulder was there as a power to radiate punishment. People were afraid of that. Because of the fear, people wrapped the boulder with a Shimenawa. The message is, don't touch me, keep out. Japanese get this message as a reality. Anyway, can you imagine God is in a boulder? God is not being those lives in the physical world. Ghosts are also not being those live in the physical world. God and ghosts are being those live in the other world. Such a world is the invisible world. Ordinary Japanese believe in beings on invisible worlds. So, we need careful attention here. Demon Slayer is a fiction, drama, imaginary story. However, the story is drawing this Japanese culture seriously. For Japanese, the visible world and invisible world are connected subtly. Living people and dead persons are overlapped beings in an enlarged dimension. That is Japanese common idea. So, Japanese respect ancestors of each family. Western materialism may laugh at this idea. However, Western civilization has driven humanity into the world with no exit. However, again, invisible world may be an exit to get away from this world dead-ended. Demon Slayer is suggesting this idea many times in every volume. Well, how was Mariko's interpretation today? Fun Nihongo. Okay, Mariko guides you to fun Nihongo. Today also, I teach you how to use a simple pattern of Nihongo. Do you remember following scene? Tanjiro is introducing the name of his sister to Urokodaki. See inside the word balloon. My sister is Nezuko. This is English. Blank, wa, blank, des. The pattern of Nihongo. My sister, wa, Nezuko des. This is already Nihongo. What did you get? Yes, English words are available for speaking Nihongo. Just remember, the sentence pattern was blank, wa blank, des. That's all. Any English noun, wa. Any English noun, adjective, des. Equals. Blank, is blank. I will show you sample sentences. Jenny wa, fashion model des. Jenny is a fashion model. Robert wa IT engineer des. Robert is an IT engineer. Mount Fuji wa, beautiful des. Mount Fuji is beautiful. Demon Slayer wa, exciting des. Demon Slayer is exciting. This is I am Japanese way for speaking Nihongo at once. How do you feel? Your impression must be, how easy. Right? If you want to make a negative sentence, just change the ending part of the sentence. Final selection wa, difficult des. Final selection wa, easy de wa arimasen. The final selection is not easy. This is how to output a negative message. Change des into de wa arimasen. Only that. Okay, see you next week.